Welcome to another episode of Change. It is a common belief that change is permanent. For that matter, it is the only thing permanent. Everything else changes. When we look at changes, sometimes we are pleased by it, sometimes we are happy about it, sometimes we might not be so happy about it. If you look about the change, I have changed some things too. My hairstyle has changed, for instance. People do bring about a lot of changes in their lives on a physical level. One's dressing sense might change, fashion statement might change. So we discuss about what these physical changes are. And today in the studio to discuss these aspects of change, we have Rajyogini Brahmakumaris Sister Usha with us. Didi, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
When we talk about changes on the physical level, you see that my hairstyle has changed.
Yes,
People will notice
yes.
it. So, as much as a change is noticeable, it is noticeable for a little while. Maybe 2 days, 3 days, people will take notice and then it will become a normal trend. We all change our wardrobes once in a while.
Yeah.
We buy new clothes because
New
we think that
things.
new things and new accessories, which would make us feel good.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to good, and I don't think so there is any harm in looking good. But we see today there's a changing trend where we are more focused on changing it again and again. So do you think that this extremity of looking good is bad, or just looking good itself is bad?
Well, looking good is not bad as far as the dignity is maintained. Because we find in today's world, in this mad race of looking good, wherein youngsters especially, this race is that everybody feels that we want to have this brand things, that brand thing, so that I would look good. But in that, they sometimes spoil themselves to such an extent that they look worst. They're not at all fully dressed also. The social dignity where they have to be well dressed is missing in today's society. And that is where they feel, okay, they do a lot of expenditure on it for all these branded clothes and all that. Young children, seeing on the television the branded things, they start demanding from their parents, we want this brand clothes, we want this brand shoes, this brand watches, etc. So that they can show off to their friends that my parents love me so much.
So it's no longer about just looking good, but it's about showing it to other
Showing
people.
off. And in that show-off process, sometimes other children, they also start feeling, if my friend has this, I can also show off. So they go home, they start demanding from their parents, look, my friend's parents, they love him so much that they brought him this things. So I also want this to show him off that my parents also love me so much. And maybe the parents are trying to meet the ends, trying to do all the expenditure to provide them with the best education and all that. But now they are not able to fulfill their demands. So sometimes if they get a similar thing from an ordinary store, the children, they feel, no, we don't want this at all, because everybody is going to laugh at me that I'm trying to use such a thing which is not of that level, that brand maybe, which is imitated. So I don't want to make a laughing piece of myself. That's what they think. And when the parents are not able to do that, they think that our parents don't love us.
So the basis of whether a parent or somebody who loves you or not is what is that person giving to you.
Yes.
So where we believe that the definition of love is unconditional care,
Yeah.
here it is conditional at what somebody offers you.
Yes. Even in birthdays, in parties, what is the other person giving you as a gift? On the basis of that, they feel, look, my friendship is based on this, with this person on the basis of this thing. And that's when we try to show people, look, this person has gifted me this thing, this person has gifted me this thing.
So it's more about flaunting about things that you
Yes,
have
yes.
than actually what you are. So looking good is, the goodness has to come from inside. It is something that looking good is the part of you. It is not something that you would have to put on artificially to show. When you talk about brands, brand name merchandise, it is something which was pretty unheard of 15 to 20 years ago.
Yeah.
People would just go, buy clothes, go to the tailor, get it done, and they would wear.
Yes.
But today the shoes are branded, the watches are branded, the piece of shirt or pants or trousers, any piece of cloth that you want, it comes in a brand.
Yeah.
And more than just buying clothes because you like it, you would want to buy something that you would want to show it to the other person that, oh, it is costly.
Yeah. And in that, sometimes they hurt the feelings of others.
Mm-hmm.
So, looking good, when they want to attract people towards themselves, when they hurt others, they move away from them.
Mm.
And that's when the person would say, look at his attitude. How much attitude he's showing. Look at the arrogance that he has. And that's when they leave his company and they gather in a group, go away from him. So that's when the person feels, look, I have so much, but still people are moving away from me.
Mm.
Or some people try to take advantage. Oh, his parents can spend, they give him so much of money, so let's take advantage. And that's when they use him. Literally, they use him by using his money and going out, parties, this, that, so that they can. But good people, they move away from him.
Mm.
And
the very purpose is defeated.
Yes. And he gets into such a company of sometimes such colleagues who are immoral and make him do such things which is also against the code and conduct of his life.
True.
Or of his principles. And the parents are not aware of it.
Mm.
Sometimes they make him get into some addictions, which is like drug addictions and some other addictions. Sometimes he's not feeling comfortable, but now he's getting merged into it and he cannot come out of it.
Mm. Because you've chosen a social circle because of the appearances that you would want to choose.
Yes, yes.
When you spoke about how much that we are getting into this, I was recently reading an article which said that people are financially going bankrupt because of their lack of control over how much they are spending on clothing and accessorization. The term Shopholic has also come in because people are buying something new, not because they have a necessity to buy it now, but they just have a constant need of upgrading themselves to a better looking person. And sometimes people spend their entire money over the weekends and there's nothing left for the entire month. They end up bargaining.
Once I was going with somebody and in the whole street, all branded shops were there. And we saw a lot of people walking on that street. And we went on to the other street where there was common stores. Less people or middle class people were there. So when we were going through this high class street, I was asking the person who was with me, do they really... So the person was telling me, you know, sister, the rent of the stores are like millions for these branded stores. They come up to millions. So I said, they must be earning that much to pay the rent of it? So they said, yes. I said, who would go and buy such expensive clothes? And by the end of the month, they have that much of money. So how much would their profit be? So the person with me was telling me, sister, they earn a lot. They make a lot of profit. That's why they are here on this street. And people are mad because they want to look good. So every Sunday you find all the shops are full. Some people come for like window shopping, but some people definitely come so that they can buy some things. They have got their salary, so they can buy something, and they spend their entire salary on it. So I said, then how do they get along with the whole week when they have spent all their salary on that? So he said, well, they go to friend's house maybe for lunch or dinner or this and that. And this is how they are able to. There also they would put on those clothes and show off. And sometimes people laugh at them because she's showing off on the clothes, but she has no money for food.
True.
And they hardly realize that people are making a joke of us. And I said that they don't feel bad. Well, who will go and tell them? Even if you tell them on their face, but still they show off in such a way, oh, I have money, no problem, this, that. They try, and then they borrow it from somebody, and that's how they try to show it off again.
This is a serious trend that has changed in the recent years, especially since the credit card market has grown hugely in India. People do not know how to live off a credit card now. There's a huge outstanding amount of credit card bills that they cannot pay now. So it is literally pushing them into financial bankruptcy.
Yes.
Just because they do not know how much they need to spend and what is important. The shopping, the appearance have mattered so much today. Like you said, that looking good is not bad. As much as I agree to it, there is a next level beyond clothing and accessories.
Yeah.
It's about the physical body.
Yeah.
Like I spoke about my haircut. Not only just haircut, but about physically looking nice. We have come to a level where people would change their haircuts in every week, let's say.
Sometimes some people, they spend so much on their hair, braiding their hair. And so much money is spent on that. They keep that hairstyle for the entire week because they've braided in such a way that it won't get bad. But they keep the whole week that style, and again the next week they're going to spend on a different hairstyle.
You go to the beauty parlor, the saloon, and then spend again amounts of money.
Yeah.
No doubt the cosmetic industry is blooming. Let's not complain about it. But the physical aspect of it, if we move into how my body looks, let's talk about the women. To maintain a zero figure, to be slim, to look nice, so that a good fitting cloth where you could fit yourself into, or I would say walking on the fashion ramp, choosing modeling as a career. There's so many young girls who would starve themselves.
Yeah, literally.
Where they would not eat food. There is an extremism of dieting which leads to several other complications.
By starving themselves, there's a deficiency of the necessary nutrients that they should get, the vitamins they should get, and in that they lead into more complication. And their health issues, then they have to spend so much on their health. Because of that deficiency, they have a lot of problems in their life. Sometimes they lead to cancer also because their body is deprived of the necessary minerals and nutrients. The cells, they get together, and that's where the tumor starts forming. So this shows, and in that process, when they have not changed their attitudes, definitely they get irritated, get angry, and in that anger which they, because of their physical, they're starving, so sometimes they bring out that anger onto somebody else and they spoil their relationships. Not just the physical body, because body is connected with our attitudes and the mind. Mind, body, spirit, all three are connected. So when they are doing something or depriving something for the body, definitely the mind is getting irritated and the spirit is also not satisfied inside. Inside maybe they have the craving, but they are like too strict with themselves. So then the mind gets irritated, and in that irritation, there's a lot of problems in their physical life.
And it's no doubt nowadays, recently I heard about it, that the fashion industry took a step to prevent female models from attempting and getting into this, so that to maintain a size 0, they do not starve themselves. So very, very late, I would say, but still nonetheless a positive step was taken to bringing about that change. Let's talk about the men.
Yes,
the physical appearance in men talks about a well-built body. It's about having six-packs. As much as it is showcased in the cinema or in the television, in the fashion magazines, wherever it is flaunted. Everybody want to look like heroes and bodybuilders and stuff. Just because it would give a sense of understanding that the other person is strong because he has muscles. But that might not be truth always.
Yeah.
Younger children, young boys who have just attained puberty, they are growing still. They may be 14 or 15. Their bones have not formed fully. They are getting into gym.
Yeah.
And going to gym is not a bad thing. But in the name of fitness, it is not just fitness, but it is about how you are showing your body to other people. For bodybuilding, steroids is something which people think that, oh, if I work hard and if my muscles still don't come up, then I take steroids, then I take protein supplements.
Yeah. And that's where it is really, really hampering their physical body, and it is affecting their mind as well. This is where, when the parents come to know, it's too late. Nobody is there to guide them. Even in the gym, they have those posters showing such body, such muscles. So trying to show that. I saw there was one boy who joined the gym, tried so much of efforts, but his muscles wouldn't come up. And finally, he started taking some injections and some steroids. And now, still, he was not able to show out that muscles. So now, he is so nervous, he is so conscious. Whenever there is such talks, he would immediately bring himself on the basis of, oh, I have some work, and immediately he would bring out himself from that company. People laugh at him. They know that he's trying
so hard.
He's tried so hard, but he's not able to be successful in that, so he's running away from this. So when he enters into that attitude, definitely the flight, he cannot fight. So the flight attitude. So that means finally one day there will be depression. So they'll end up in depression. Recent research was the reason for depression is either competition, comparison, or lack of communication. These are the three reasons why people land up in depression. Even in school, colleges, we find some students being in the company of their colleagues, they start competing with one another, trying to show off, and the others are just taking pleasure out of it. Isn't it? As we find that there are some students who want to show off every day, every week, with some new clothes, new things, new sets of technology, maybe new mobiles, and in that they are trying to compare with one another, and in this comparison sometimes they do some wrong things also.
True. When you spoke about these 3 C's, about comparison, one of the things that comparison has become quite a common factor for us, the way how the other person looks and how I look. And the more I compare, the more I get into competition with the other person. Like,
yes.
If you are looking good, I would also want to buy something nice and look good today. And if you would see me, oh, he's trying to outsmart me. let me do something else.
Yeah.
So this goes on to a level. So physically about going to gym and fitness and everything is okay. But taking it to an extremity just to please others, just to impress others, would not do any good to us.
Because to impress others, it's not just with the outer physical factor, but it's the inner thing, the inner beauty. When that comes out in our practical behavior, in our relationship with others, that is really going to attract. Otherwise, physically, maybe they may be doing so many things, but finally, when they are hurting others' feelings, when they are hurting others, nobody is going to go closer to them. So, finally, it is just that in all this process, they are spending more, they sometimes are not even looking good, and when somebody laughs at them, they get into such a violent form that they commit such actions where they have to regret throughout their lives, maybe.
Another interesting aspect is, as much as I want to impress, it is rightly said that beauty is skin deep, but many people do not understand how deep is it.
Yeah.
So, moving away from the physical aspect, there's quite an extreme end of the spectrum where we have reached today in the aspect of looking good. It's about cosmetic surgery.
Yes.
Not only just women, but men also.
Yes.
So people spend lots of money in looking in a way that they are not being made by the nature.
Yes. Going against nature.
Yeah, like there are examples in the media, many people, famous personalities who have done Botox and implants and rhinoplasties and whatnot in cosmetic surgery.
Yes,
and today,
yes.
because it has become accessible, today the advancement has grown and many people think that it is within one's reach. People want to go for it. Looking good, like you said, is not bad, but at what cost is it coming?
Yeah.
Recently, I was reading on the internet that there is a Barbie doll. It's a doll that children would play with. But a girl was so fascinated by the Barbie doll, she wanted to look like a Barbie doll. She wanted to become a living Barbie doll. She's 22 years of age and she has undergone more than 35 cosmetic surgeries.
Oh my God.
And today she looks like a Barbie doll, really. If you look at her picture, she would look literally like a plastic doll. But only thing is she has undergone so much of surgery.
Oh my God.
But I think how much more would we go
How
like
much
this?
expense that must be, and how can the parents, they allow her to do so much of surgery because that's going to affect her. Not maybe at this time, but in the later stages of her life, definitely the chemical reactions would definitely affect her. She must be taking so much medication for that.
Yes.
And in that process, all the chemical reaction in the body, and if it's in the environmental changes, if that is going to affect her, going out in the sunlight maybe affect her. She won't be able to tolerate the sunlight. She won't be able to make her physical body strong enough in all this process. And finally, she may regret in the end that I shouldn't have gone against my natural creation.
The word plastic means something which is not natural. Plastic surgery, it is not a natural surgery.
Natural thing, yeah.
Yeah. Whereas the plastic surgery has benefits of changing people's looks who have suffered accidents or fire attacks or acid attacks on them.
Yeah.
It could restore them back to their normal way of looking. But we using cosmetic surgery to another extreme of physical appearance would do us no good. It was such a wonderful talk, Didi, and I think most of our friends who are watching this show would agree, at least at the end of the show, that looking good might be good, but what really matters is being good, and that is what attracts more than anything else.
Yes, definitely.
So thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
So this was about change. It's about the time that we changed our perspective on how we want to live our lives. As much as looking good is important, it is not important than being good. If our sole purpose of looking good is to attract people's attention, It is about impressing other people. I think at the end of this episode, we would agree that being good attracts like nothing else. So be good, be your own hero, bring about that hero, and everybody would be impressed by it. May that goodness remain with you. On that note, signing off. Take care.